talk about the QSR space. Today you have Jubilant Foodworks particularly in focus because you have a brokerage note that's coming on the counter where they're maintaining a sell stance, and the commentary is not looking that bullish that it's coming in for Jubilant Food. However, the stock is trading higher by about 1.8%. But Trishti, let's take a deeper dive into the entire QSR space.
Well, yes, absolutely, because the QSR space has relinquished the gains it made in the month of September because festive trends have showed limited growth for many companies. What are the factors that are contributing to the slowdown in the QSR industry? Let's get in more details from Vinny Motiwala. Vinny, take it away.
Absolutely. Seems like, no one was munching on those burgers and pizzas this time, and especially since September, that fall has come in most of the stock prices as well. Now, what led to the sluggishness when you look at it in terms of the Q2 numbers? First, let's highlight in that also. The commentary and what we have seen coming in is that the same store sales growth for most of the QSRs have seen a decline when you compare it quarter-on-quarter basis, year-on-year basis as well. Same store sales growth had seen a decline coming in, indicating that obviously that weak demand is something that is persistent. Now, obviously, pizza demand, even in the last couple of quarters, we had seen pizza was not doing that well versus the burger companies. So whether Jubilant Foodworks, Devyani International's Pizza Hut business, or even Sapphire Foods Pizza Hut business, that had not been doing well. But now what we are seeing that other cuisines in the QSR space, that is also not doing quite well, and that is also seeing a bit of a pressure and witnessing some weakness in terms of demand trends as well. Specifically, obviously, festive season, that didn't bring any cheer as well. Channel checks were suggesting that festive season was quite dull as well. Navratri didn't do anything in terms of a cheer. Pre-Diwali sales also saw a bit of an uptick, but nothing great in terms of the versus the last festive season as well. So yes, Westlife development still less impacted compared to other peers. When you look at it in terms of the SSSG growth as well for Restaurant Brand Asia or Westlife in Q2 was on the positive side. But whether you look at Sapphire Food, Pizza Hut business, Jubilant Foods, pizza business, as well as Devyani International's pizza business, that had seen a decline in the SSSG growth. World Cup also was something that didn't support in terms of the demand trend as well. And that is what that we're seeing, that there's a weakness overall coming in terms of demand trends. There's not much trend in terms of consumers actually going and eating much in terms of the QSR items. That is what is causing a bit of a pressure here as well.
Vinny, for talking about the QSR space and exactly how it's been sluggish for them going ahead when it comes to their gains. But let's bring on board our experts for today. We have Hemen, Kapadia, as well as Shahina, Mukadam joining us on the show. A very good morning to you, Shahina, as well as Hemen. Thank you so much for joining us on ET9. Let's talk about the most exciting space, at least for me, given the fact that I love junk food and QSR space in particular. No doubt the gains don't seem to be actually lasting when it comes to the stock price performance, Shahina. But fundamentally, do you think a long way to go coming in for the QSR space, or do you think there is a lot of competition coming in from the unlisted arena for this entire space, and that could actually cause a hurdle for their growth trajectory?
Well, as Vicky explained, I agree that the demand has actually substantially slowed down after a very good first, I would say, 3 quarters of FY23. From the fourth quarter, we've started seeing the growth coming down, and as we saw in this first half, the growth, I think, for most of these companies in the QSR space, the larger ones, has been in the range of 5 to 7%. So it's pretty low. The competition has increased definitely, as is actually some of the discounts which are affecting the top line. But the bigger issue is also, you see margins are impacted, and even currently you see the price of onions, tomatoes, major raw materials for some of these companies, the prices are pretty high. So I think the impact on margins is likely to continue on into the second half of the year, FY24. While we may see some improvement in demand, I think the overall numbers are likely to be muted. So despite the stocks having corrected, if you see in the first half of current year, I think the consolidation phase in these stocks will continue on for at least another 2 quarters before we start seeing another up move. Lastly, I think valuations are pretty expensive. If you look at it on a simple P basis, they're all quoting around at 100 plus times P, which I think is expensive given the growth. So I would say that I wouldn't recommend any of them to be bought at current levels. Let us wait for a dip and see, review it maybe after a quarter or so.
Okay, so not a buyer at these levels. The valuations seem to be expensive as of now on the fundamental take. But Hemen, coming to you, talking about the stock-specific action that we have seen in the past couple of months, they were quite sluggish from the likes of Devyani International, Jubilant Food, as well as Westlife Development. So, any stock, where do you believe that the momentum could catch up on the either side? And any take on any stock that you like at this point in time from the QSR space?
A very good morning to you, Shishti. Very good morning to you, Cheryl. Thank you for having me on the show. Shishti, I think quite a few. There's Sapphire, there's Devyani, there's Westlife, there's Restaurant Brand Asia. One thing which I would say agrees with what you're saying, Jubilant Food is something where you look for some momentum coming in. Okay, we've been moving sideways, not doing much, but the range is between 490 and 550 for the last 2 months or so, Shishti. And now we are on the verge of breaking out from there. The mechanical indicators seem to support this move, not only the weekly, the monthly chart. So from the 4-5 stocks that I mentioned or when he spoke about, I think there's only one stock which stands out as of now, Jubilant Food. It's not yet broken out. I think that level is at 550, but the setup is turning positive, and I believe this is the one stock which could outperform. Shishti.
That's the take coming in from both of our experts when it comes to the QSR space.